Hello traders and welcome back to Price Plan Profit. I'm Melissa, and in this video I want to walk you through the one indicator that completely transformed my day trading edge, the pre-market zone or PMZ. What is the PMZ? The PMZ represents key pre-market price levels. It sets the essential bias for day trades. Above the PMZ indicates a long bias, and below the PMZ signals a short bias. The PMZ reflects early market sentiment. It gives me a clear directional bias based on whether price is above or below this range. The risk is defined as the width of the pre-market zone. We like to say the PMZ is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Now, how do I trade with the PMZ? Obviously, price breaks above, I'm looking for longs. Price breaks below, I'm looking for shorts, avoiding trades when price is inside the PMZ unless there is confluence there. The moment price leaves the PMZ, that's my signal to enter based on directional bias. I already have my trade plan mapped out ahead of time for either direction. Let me explain how. Let's look at how the PMZ worked for Broadcom on June the 18th. My favorite way to find targets is by identifying 2-hour inside candles. They often precede strong breakout moves. So for my upside target, I use an inside and down candle formation on a 2-hour chart that is above the PMZ. So I want to look up and to the left to find that inside and down candle formation representing my upside target on day trades out of the PMZ. I like to color this box red. It just is good for my brain to see an upside target as red and a downside target as green. So I use a red box on my screen for the upside target. Now I need to look down and to the left to find the inside candle followed by a up candle. So looking at it, I can see that I have the inside and up formation right here. I'm going to draw a zone around this formation and color that green. Now I have my upside target and my downside target, which is very important in having a trade plan before I enter a trade not knowing if my directional bias will be to the upside or downside. I need those targets for both. Fibonacci levels give me levels for scaling out. I trim at the key levels like the 38.2 and the 618. To get these levels, I draw fibs on the most recent uptrend and downtrend, removing unnecessary levels by editing the properties. So let me show you. The most recent uptrend is here. I want to start my fibs there where the move up began and go up to the high. Now, what do I mean by erasing levels that aren't important? In this case, I would have, remember, this price action hasn't occurred yet, so I'm just looking at this price action. I want to remove the 236 and the 382 because they are above the current price action, and I am looking for trim levels to the downside on the way to my ultimate target. I also remove levels that line up with my zone. So the 764, I have a zone there. I don't need that level on my chart, so I'm going to remove that level. Then next, in order to find trim levels to the upside, I'm going to measure now the most recent downtrend. To do that, I'm just going to start my Fibonacci's up there at that high. where the most recent downtrend began and go down to the low, set those Fibonacci levels. And now I want to remember, we're only looking at this price action right now. I want to remove any levels that aren't important to the upside for trims. So that would be the 236 there. I like to use the 38.2, the 618, and the 887 as trim levels. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the other Fibonacci levels that are showing on the chart. So now I have both trim levels to the upside if price breaks above the PMZ on June 18th. These are my trim levels. This is my target. For the downside, I also have trim levels on the way to my target. So now I'm going to flip to a 5-minute chart. That is the day trading chart that I use for the PMZ day trades. So now that I have that chart on the screen, I want to zoom in to the price action on June the 18th and talk about how I would trade this PMZ trade to the upside. You can see that on the opening bell, right here on this candle, price broke below the PMZ. That is a signal to go short. Trimming here at the first trim level, moving stops to break even. This trade would have netted one trim and then a break even stop. The next trade using the PMZ for day trading would have been as price broke above the PMZ, right? Bias is going long, so I would have been buying calls there. I would have been trimming at the first trim target and then trimming again at my final target. I like to move my stops up as I am scaling out of this trade to protect my profits and use proper risk management. So this trade would have netted a trim and then a target, making it to my final target there, this red zone. All right. After price hit my final target, this 2-hour inside and down candle formation, you can see that you definitely got a reversal. Another way to use the trade plans that I set up in the mornings is when price gets to my sell zone or my upper target, you can then go short from this zone, and your PMZ is your target to the downside. So you can see if we had taken this day trade from the sell zone, you would have gotten nice profits back at the PMZ. Then the rest of the day, waiting for Jerome Powell to come on the mic, price just chopped around for the rest of the day. But this is an example of how I set up a trade plan and then execute the plan based on the PMZ, price above going long and price below going short. Broadcom set up both a short entry and a long entry, with both being profitable. So why do I love the PMZ so much? The PMZ provides crucial directional confidence for trades. The inside candles on 2-hour charts offer clear targets, and Fibonacci levels help manage the risk and reward effectively. Scaling out and moving stops optimizes my trade management. This combo lets me trade with confidence, structure, and high probability. Exactly why I don't trade without it. So, are you ready to stop guessing and start trading with structure? Subscribe now. Join the trendy live trading room at Simpler Trading and get the exact PMZ setups I trade every single day. There's a link in the description below. Let's grow together. See you inside. Please like this video, hit that subscribe button, and join me for the next video coming out tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day.